The episode opens with the introduction of a new character. Arkady Koslov is a top Russian hacker who showcases his deadly talents by assassinating some world leaders from the comfort of his extravagant home. This new UI is an unstoppable force of nature, but even he doesn't know about the flaw in his coding. His government agree that Arkady is replaceable, and yet he has just aided in an explosive political maneuver. While world leaders are killed off and stock markets crash, Maddie and Ellen panic shop for the coming apocalypse. Lori is planning on going public and aims to reveal the many secrets of the UI program to the world. David tries his best to calm his fellow UIs as the fears of annihilation bring out the worst in these geniuses. Chanda argues with Lori over her scheme, and David suggests locating the other UIs to help solve the defect first. Lori gives them a limited amount of time to solve this problem before she goes public. Ellen brings in Waxman to help them track down the other UIs in the world. She warns him that war is coming and he must choose a side. He passes them a memory stick containing the tracking program, but David refuses to talk with his old friend when the opportunity arises. This information allows them to track all the UIs in the world. Koslov is spotted in Russia and Jispan in Israel. The Chinese UIs seem to have traveled to Palo Alto, though, and are heading right for them. What follows is a clutched battle between the good guys and the bad UIs. They try to warn their enemy of the ensuing glitch that will be their ultimate downfall, but they won't listen. Lori pauses the fight and informs the others that she's going public. They cannot stop her now. Chanda tries to reprimand his ally, but David intercepts. These powerful beings are at odds with one another, and it looks like things aren't going to end well for anyone involved. Meanwhile, Caspian wanders the streets and joins a church, looking for a much simpler life. He tries to teach others followers about math and has a light bulb moment during this specific lesson. His pupils record his ramblings, and he is quick to delete the footage, but logarithms find him anyway. Pope turns up at the church and asks for his help. It's an intriguing scene. Pope understands that his company are perceived to be the bad guys, but he earnestly wants Caspian to guide him towards a brighter future. He offers Caspian free rein to do what he pleases. The teen says that Pope will regret this, but he doesn't seem fazed. Cody speaks to Lori for what he believes could be the last time. She is midway through recording her confession and pauses her speech for her lover. He tells her that he is going to Logarithm's base in Norway to retrieve her files. Lori admits that it won't be her, that he is recovering, that the old Lori he reboots won't even be in love with him. Cody doesn't care, he has to try something, but she wants him to stick around and hear what she has to say. While Lori delivers her speech, Chanda gives Maddie a call. He warns her that he's going to destroy Lori and then David for their deceit. We then see how he has hacked into some military computers and is sending a missile right towards Lori's servers. Lori narrates over the top of this sequence, stating that UIs are humans, one's gifted with incredible power. They could do great things with this new technology and is worth sharing with the world instead of just a select few. She says she believes in humanity and signs off just as her servers are destroyed. The series finale, The Gods Will Not Be Slain, begins with the introduction of a new character, a brave soul named Josephine who is headed for Mars. The astronaut is unfairly cut from this mission when she falls ill, but she is offered a new role as America's first cybernaut instead. Josephine represents the good that UIs can achieve, but there are those who wish to use this power for evil and their own gains. Pantheon concludes its first season with an almighty battle between good and evil in an explosive finale. Maddie watches online as the world falls apart around her. Cyber attacks are growing with the onset of a third world war. Caspian calls Maddie out of the blue to update her on his current circumstances. He explains that he'll be heading to Norway to work alongside Pope. Caspian is done running, is going to shut logarithms down and erase all their research. They had already provided him with $30 million, which he has gifted to Maddie for all her help. But Maddie just wants to save her father. Caspian plans to rid the world of UIs, which in turn would kill David too. These two individuals that were once friends now seem poles apart. The gang throws Lori a symbolic burial, but Cody is still angry after Chanda's attack. He wants to release Lori's confession to the world like she had originally planned. Maddie thinks it could cause further chaos, though. He goes public anyway, appearing on the news later that day. Unfortunately, Cody isn't taken seriously, and very few people believe him without any hard evidence to back it up. Maddie and David discuss Cody's bold move whilst they play each other at chess. David admits that he only has 2 years left, maybe 10 to 15 if he compromises his own world and returns to text speech like before. He worries he won't get to see his daughter grow up. Meanwhile, Chanda is up to his old tricks, stealing the world's nuclear codes. He heads straight for David's cyber abode to make his final play. Chanda threatens David he has 10 minutes to hand himself over or a missile will be launched at Sacramento, killing his entire family and many others in the process. Chanda is aware that David has a copy of Lori's message and fears he's going to go public. David reflects that it may have been a bad idea to keep a backup copy, but he just wants to be seen to leave behind some form of legacy. Maddie begs her father to fight back. Caspian is shown around Logarithm's base and then starts to bark out orders. He fires his parents, I bet that felt good, and tells Pope to dump his shares, break up the company, and sell it for parts. The others are shocked by Caspian's demands, but Pope follows them blindly. David heads into the video game world to fight Chanda with the clock ticking. The UI gods battle, making up their own rules as they go along. Chanda senses defeat and launches the missile, managing to freeze David's character within the game, but Maddie promptly reawakens him. David then tricks Chanda and sends the missile crashing into the sea, saving thousands of lives. David decides to sacrifice himself and uploads Lori's file to every device and every screen across the entire globe. This act uses an unimaginable amount of power, and David's file is subsequently erased from the cyber world. With Lori's message going global, the companies start to panic and pull the plug on all their servers containing these UIs. Chanda and his UI cronies head for the satellites as their digital world evaporates around them. People protest outside Logarithm's headquarters after discovering this ungodly deceit. Waxman admits that it is all true, to which Pope orders for him to be arrested. Caspian and Pope debate the fallout of David's scheme. Caspian believes that this is the end of it all, but Pope thinks it's only just the beginning. UIs will survive this and then thrive. He confesses that Holstrom only wanted one UI to be immortal in the end, one to control all the others. He offers Caspian the opportunity to decide which UI has their flaw removed. Caspian's first option is David, but Maddie reveals that he is now dead after releasing Lori's message. Pope states that they have a copy of his file, and Caspian gets to work on curing the flaw. The series ends with Ellen returning from the protests to find her daughter sobbing. They are heartbroken at David's death and hug one another. The power cuts out and a backup generator kicks in. Their house seems to be the only one in the neighborhood to be running on full power, and their neighbors head over in the dark, looking for comfort or maybe answers. Meanwhile, Caspian types away at his computer, hopefully uploading David's consciousness once again to gift him with the power of immortality.